And now, from Honolulu, Hawaii, KGMB-9 News, Hawaii's severe weather station.
Tonight, lurid details about the sex crime Representative Galen Fox committed, forcing his resignation from office. Good evening, I'm Jade Moon.
And I'm Kim Janala. A day after stepping down because of a sexual misconduct conviction, State Representative Galen Fox tells KGMB-9 he did nothing wrong. But statements Fox allegedly gave to the FBI contradict what he's saying now. These are the latest revelations in a scandal that's rocking the state capitol. KGMB-9's Brooks Bear has more in tonight's top story.
Kim, Fox was convicted of a misdemeanor sex offense. He declined to talk to us on camera today, but off camera he again professed his innocence. Fox spent time in his office at the Capitol today. He'll continue to work there until his resignation takes effect December 1st.
It came as such a off-the-wall disclosure that he had been convicted of a crime, and then to resign on top of that, it was just shocking to me.
As chair of the Waikiki Neighborhood Board, Bob Finley has worked closely with Fox for several years.
I'm still a bit shocked over the whole thing. We've lost a great leader, I believe.
The incident that led to Fox's downfall happened on a flight from Honolulu to Los Angeles last December. The 63-year-old lawmaker was assigned to seat 13A. A 27-year-old woman was sleeping in the seat next to him. An FBI special agent who interviewed the woman states the woman says she woke up, lifted her blanket, and immediately saw that Fox had his right hand resting on her thigh and was rubbing her crotch. Fox was also questioned by the FBI agent. According to court documents, Fox admitted to reaching over to touch the victim. However, Fox denied touching her crotch or unzipping her jean pants. He reiterated he was only reaching to touch her hand and could not explain why he wanted to touch her hand.
That having him be in office would be just too much of a distraction for the people of Waikiki.
Most of the people we talked to in Fox's Waikiki district today say Fox did the right thing by resigning.
Even though it's only a misdemeanor, it's not a minor thing.
Some, however, believe Fox should have held on to his job.
He made a mistake and admitted it. And it wasn't a mistake where he ruined anybody or killed anybody or anything like that.
This is the second time in recent memory a Republican in the House of Representatives has been implicated in a sex crime. Last year, Maui Rep Brian Blundell pled no contest to fourth-degree sexual assault.
I don't know that you can connect these two incidents, but you know, as a member of the Democratic Party, I'm focused on making the Democrats a better party because I believe it's the right choice for people.
The story surrounding Galen Fox is full of contradictions. He told the FBI he touched the woman's hand, but today told us why would he touch her hand with her parents sitting just a few seats away. It appears Fox will have to submit his name to the state's sex offender registry because of this conviction. Brooks Bear, KGMB-9 News.
Want a flu shot from your doctor? Well, get ready to be turned down. Many physicians have not received their full orders of the vaccine for influenza A. KGMB-9's Jim Mendoza tells us why.
Well, Jade, if there is a quick answer, it is there is a shortfall of supplying the demand for flu vaccine. Hawaii ordered 250,000 doses this year. Lots of the orders are for doctors and health providers who have yet to see a single shot. The hang-up is with manufacturers who are behind in getting shipments to suppliers.
And we've been informed that we are a top priority wait list provider, but we've yet to see a delivery. We're advising patients in terms of just the wellness activities that they need to engage in to avert the flu.
We can direct, most people who want and need the vaccine to a place where they can get it.
Now, some doctors have gotten emergency help from the Department of Health, which has a small stockpile of emergency supplies of vaccine, but it's not enough for everybody, and doctors will eventually get their orders. But in the meantime, if you are high risk for getting complications from the flu, call 211 to find a clinic that has some flu vaccine on hand. Jim Mendoza, KGMB-9 News.
2 Hawaii-based soldiers were killed this weekend in Iraq. The soldiers are from the 100th Battalion, 442nd Infantry. They were identified as 28-year-old Sergeant Wilgene Lieto and 31-year-old Specialist Darrence Jack. Both are from Saipan. The military says they were killed in an explosion in Balad.
All I know is that there was an roadside bomb, improvised explosive device. One soldier, I believe, I was informed that was killed instantly. Another soldier was taken evacuated to an emergency medical field hospital where he died on the operating table.
The soldiers were deployed to Iraq last March and were expected to return early next year.
A 19-year-old man from Mililani apparently died in his sleep at a mainland Air Force training camp. It happened at the Shepherd Air Force Base in Texas, which is located about 300 miles north of San Antonio. A military spokesman says a roommate found 19-year-old James Taylor dead. Taylor was at the base for training. The exact cause of death is not known. The Shepherd Base provides 58% of the fighting force for the United States Air Force. And coming up new tonight at 10, we will visit Taylor's family in Mililani. We'll talk to his former basketball coach, too, at Leilehua High School.
Tough questions today for the leaders of Hawaii's youth prison, and a tough response as well. This as lawmakers quiz state officials about the troubled prison system and what's being done to fix it. KGMB-9's Keahi Tucker has more.
Hi there, Kim. Leaders of the Hawaii Youth Correctional Facility say they are making progress caring for their inmates and tightening up their overtime budget. And they're standing firm against accusations of mismanagement. This week, Representative Sylvia Luke accused the prison's leadership of a number of things, including nepotism. Today, the prison's director explained that she didn't realize the assistant she recently hired was her distant relative until after she had hired him. That assistant, Etene Tamalelagi, says Representative Luke didn't do enough research before airing her accusations.
I felt that it was a very low blow and that it shouldn't have been out there in the forefront in the media.
There are a lot of problems that we haven't been able to get answers yet, and that is why we're having the hearings.
Representative Luke today held the first of 3 hearings about the prison system. So far, there's a consensus that the agencies involved with youth services need to do a better job working together. Experts today recommended creating more treatment programs for offenders and giving judges more options on how to deal with troubled children. The youth prison in Olomana still has a way to go itself to get out of trouble. The facility is under investigation by the U.S. Justice Department, and it's being sued by the ACLU. The hearings continue next week, Tuesday. Keahi Tucker, KGMB-9 News.
A head-on collision in Kaneohe shut down Kamehameha Highway right in the middle of morning rush hour traffic. It happened in front of the Waikane store just before 7 a.m. Police say a vehicle collided with a truck pulling a trailer. Paramedics say 2 people were taken to the Queens Medical Center in serious condition. As a result of the crash, police closed all lanes of Kamehameha Highway in both directions for several hours.
And police need your help to find a suspect in a fatal hit and run. Police say a pickup truck struck and killed an 80-year-old man Sunday night. The driver of the truck made a U-turn at the scene and was last seen headed toward the North Shore. Now, a witness describes the suspect as a male in his 20s, about 6 feet tall and about 220 pounds. He has a husky build and was seen wearing a tank top. Police believe the truck was a 4-door, dark-colored quad cab pickup, possibly a Dodge Dakota. If you have any information that can help, please call Crime Stoppers at 955-8300.
Now, from Hawaii's severe weather station, Kai Hoggy's first forecast.
Blustery trade winds have picked up, and we're seeing less rain today than yesterday, but there are some showers out there. They'll be blowing in both tonight and tomorrow morning, but we're not expecting anything too heavy. And by lunchtime, the sun should really start to peak up. Not much sunshine today because of all the cloud cover, and we had some scattered showers, although rainfall totals weren't all that impressive, except for one spot over on the windward side of Maui. They had almost 3.5 inches of rain. Kauai and the Big Island, they got about 1 inch over on those windward areas, and here on Oahu, Manoa was the wet spot. They had about half an inch up there in the valley. Now, coming up later, we'll see what's ahead for the rest of the work week.
The Stadium Authority has approved a recommendation to ban alcohol in the parking lot of UH football games again. Now, the authority voted on the idea back in September as well, but that it was notified it violated sunshine laws by not issuing proper public notice. The proposal does not affect alcohol sales inside the stadium. Now, this proposal now heads to Governor Lingle, who will decide whether to approve a public hearing on the subject. If no changes are made, the authority will hold a final vote on the ban proposal, which could go into effect next season.
Not only are our tourism numbers good, they are great. Our hotels this year are projected to bring in a record $3 billion in revenue this year. That tops last year's figure of more than $2.7 billion. Last week, the state released the latest visitor numbers from September. Those numbers showed that not only are more people coming here, but they're staying longer and spending more money. Tourists spend an estimated $913 million just last month, and that's a jump of 14% compared to September of 2004. And U.S. Representative Ed Case believes those numbers could be even higher if we did more to encourage tourism from China. Case has written letters to the Bush administration saying there are too many delays in processing visa applications. He'd also like China to designate the United States as an approved travel destination for its citizens.
A new inter-island carrier may be flying to Hawaii. Prices it's promising could be very good to your checkbook. That's still ahead on KGMB 9 News.
Plus, a local restaurant could be in big trouble for what's happening with the environment.
And elementary school students send some well wishes to our troops in Iraq, and they receive a very special gift in return. We'll be right back.
This segment of KGMB 9 News is sponsored by HGEA.
You're watching Kim Tanala and Jade Moon on KGMB 9 News at 6.
Well, it's not supposed to happen, but a local cemetery has been turned into a dumping ground with hundreds of gallons of used cooking oil forming pools and seeping into the soil. KGMB 9's Cedric Moon has the details.
Well, Jay, the cemetery says it was all happening behind its back, but one watchdog group says what they didn't know could hurt the environment. Valley of the Temples Memorial Park, the final resting place for about 50,000 people. But buried nearby, this.
As you walk in, you can also smell it. It smells, reeks of oil, you know, cooking oil or old vegetable oil or meat, what have you. And you can see sheens of it flowing and then near the stream there.
About 1,800 gallons worth, according to an environmental watchdog group, over a 3-year period, dumped in the back reaches of the cemetery. Some type of lubricant is normally used in building vaults that hold caskets, which are then buried. In this case, Valley of the Temples was using the cooking oil, but
they were collecting more than they were actually using. And so quite naturally, now you have an accumulation problem.
So where was it all coming from? This nearby restaurant. It turns out a former employee now works for the cemetery and arranged for regular delivery.
It's not a practice that we encourage.
The EPA and the state's health department says the restaurant could be in serious violation of environmental laws. And most kitchens know exactly how to get rid of their oil.
Well, they usually contract with a company to take the grease off their hands and to handle it properly.
In a written statement, the cemetery's director of operations said burial of the unused oil is not normal company policy and didn't know it was going on. That's exactly what the restaurant is also saying.
We certainly don't want flamingos oil to, you know, be a cause of some type of environmental problem.
Both businesses add they are investigating and reminding their employees of how to throw out waste material, something some believe should have already been known.
Well, if you buy cooking oil, you have a responsibility from cradle to the grave, so to speak.
In this case, it was the wrong graves. State Health Department workers surveyed the area this afternoon. They will now request the cemetery's dumping records. They say the restaurant and the cemetery could face serious fines, $10,000 a day for a waste violation and $25,000 if it seeps into the waterways. Cedric Moon, KGMB 9 News.
Look around town, you'll see lots of smiling drivers. Gas prices continue to fall fast. Current prices are the lowest now that they've been since the gas cap went into effect in September. Some prices we saw today, $2.69 for regular at Chevron on Ke'eaumoku and a low $2.59 at Costco in Iwilei. Drivers are, of course, hoping the trend continues.
It's been going up and down, but so far it's just been straight down. Hopefully it just keeps going down and everyone will be happier. Well, I'm just glad that it's going down.
Tomorrow, the Public Utilities Commission will put out the new cap figures for next week, but prices on the mainland dropped again this week, so it's likely our prices will also drop for the 5th week in a row.
A new inter-island carrier is coming to Hawaii, and it's bringing cheap airfares with it. Mesa Airlines says it'll charge as little as $86 to fly round-trip from Honolulu to Maui and Kauai. Flights from Honolulu to the Big Island will cost as little as $93 round-trip. The airline hopes to start flying between next January and March.
Some elementary school kids are sending off holiday well wishes to the troops in Iraq. Students at Hokulani Elementary prepared greeting cards. The messages will be mailed to soldiers assigned to the 100th Battalion 442nd Infantry deployed in Iraq right now. The cards were presented to Major Mike Peters, who's back in Hawaii after his deployment there. Peters, in return, gave the students an American flag that is flown above the 100th Battalion headquarters in Iraq. And he went on to say that these little things mean so much to the troops. So when they get a package from Hawaii, they all rummage through it.
What a thrill for the troops, but also what a thrill for the kids to be able to do that for